Alright, you special people. Hope you're having a good day. Hope things are going well on this Thursday, and that you're getting to the end of your week unscathed and doing just fine. Hopefully all of that is happening for you, and if it isn't, well, maybe this video can perk you up a little bit and get you to the end of your week nice and happy, you know, like a cloud of bitterness and resentment. Anyway, do you know back in the day, when I used to work in a store, a Games Workshop store, what the main thing that annoyed me was, when I was there, it wasn't the manager, right? The manager was bad, and it wasn't really the customers either, like most customers anyway. It wasn't the other staff. No. It wasn't even our prices, or the fact that I had to sell models at a ridiculous markup. No. Do you know who annoyed me the most? Customers who would come in and complain at me in my place of work about the company, about the manager, about the models, about the prices, and then continue to come in and put money in our till, paying vast amounts for models, only to complain that they're too expensive. This sort of thing riled against my back teeth. I hated it, and it is something, since I've started YouTube, that I've only seen more and more and more. If you want one thing to take away from the rest of this video, make it be this, please. Right? If you don't like Games Workshop, if you don't like their practices, if you don't like the amount of money they charge you for plastic models that are woefully overpriced, then do not buy them. Get them from elsewhere. Go on eBay. Go on reselling sites and things like that. People who have got models that they don't want anymore, that they want to sell. Second-hand sites, there are tons of them out there. There are loads of marketplaces where you can source your models if you do a little bit more digging and you stop being so lazy and just buying from Games Workshop or Games Workshop affiliated stores. Because yes, even if you support your local game store, Games Workshop sees a percentage of that money too, because they've got to buy their stock from somewhere, right? If you don't like what they're doing, vote with your wallet. It is a thing that I see all of the time on my feed, right? They're the same. Here's a controversial thing. The same people, quite a few of the same people who complain to me about the prices, who complain to me about Games Workshop's practices with the Femstody stuff and even the normal stuff like the quality of their writing and the quality of their rules. These are the same people who go on Hobby Showcase and show me models that they've bought from Games Workshop and then painted up to a really high standard. Brilliant. Fantastic. You're supporting that machine, dude. Why should I listen to you? Why should I listen to anything you have to say? You are sitting in the boiling water and complaining to me that it is hot. I was in that boiling water. I decided it was too hot for me. I got out and did other things. I sourced my models from other places. I went to play one-page rules instead of 40k. I cut Games Workshop out of my hobby. Just got rid of them like a bad smell. Goodbye. Right? I don't give Games Workshop any money, and I don't play their games. I play with their models. There's nothing they can do about it. I buy them from second-hand sources. I get them from eBay and marketplaces online. I don't do recasts, don't do anything like that. I only go with the official models, and I get them from legitimate means that has nothing to do with Games Workshop, and I save myself upwards of 50 to 40% every single time I buy the models. Okay? Now, I don't think Games Workshop's prices are defensible at all. I'm going to show you something here. On screen right now. Let's me and you look at this together. Alright, pricing. Games Workshop pricing. Now, one thing I'm always told is that these Combat Patrol box sets, or the big box sets you get for Christmas for like £150, are really good value for money. Now, if the models in this set were worth the amount of money Games Workshop are quoting you, then absolutely I agree. This would be a good deal. But what you fail to understand, what many people fail to understand, is that Games Workshop control the marketplace. They tell you what these models are worth. The marketplace doesn't. If the marketplace decided how much these models are worth, they would be about 10% of the actual price, right? this whole box would be about 15 quid. The Grey Knight Combat Patrol, 15 quid. Why? Because the models are really old. This one over here, the Black Templars one, would be worth around 25 quid to 30 quid in the real world. In the real world, where we sell plastic, right? Plastic miniatures that you have to build yourself, 25 to 30 quid for a standard set like this. Okay? In the real world. You look at any other faction, any other game out there, 50 quid max. This would be 50 quid max for the Black Templar set here, if it's another game system. I'm telling you. 50 quid max. By the way, a box set like this, do you know how much it used to cost? Yep, £45. £45. And even that, before inflation, was considered quite expensive. Right? But people will tell you all the time, oh, it's inflation, you know, a £45 set of models back then is now naturally worth £100. No, it isn't! No, it isn't! It hasn't literally doubled in price. You know how I know that? Because I'm not getting paid double. I'm not getting paid double! Okay? This set is worth 45 English pounds. This one. Literally, this one right here. It's worth 45 English pounds. You know how I know that? Because that's what they used to charge. And even then it was expensive. Let's move the timeline forward and then put inflation in here, shall we? This box set is now worth £60. If we're going on inflation, on percentages, that's how much this is worth. £60, because it used to be worth 45. That's inflation. That's real inflation. That's where prices have gone. Do you know how I know this is unfair? I'm going to say this once again. Do you know how I know this is an insulting price? Because my pay has not doubled since this box set. This kind of box set was £45. In the past 10 to 15 years, my wages have not doubled. So why have your prices doubled? Why? Your prices have more than doubled. This is before it was even called Start Collecting, by the way. You know, even before that, before it was called Start Collecting, the old box sets, you remember them when you go into Games Workshop, 3rd edition to 5th edition. You saw those wonderful Army Starter box sets on the shelf, 45 quid, and you got yourself 500 to 750 points of models for the army of your choice. All well-balanced boxes, ready to go out the box. They've tried to do the same thing with Combat Patrol, but they failed. Do you know why? Because they're greedy. Because they're greedy. £100 for this amount of models that you can't pose in any other way is insulting. And if you give this company this amount of money for this amount of models, you deserve everything you get. Because you're the problem. You're the idiot who was taken for a ride. And you have the balls to come on my channel and come to me in public or on Discord or wherever and moan about prices. When you're the one feeding this insulting machine. You're the one doing it. There are alternatives out there. Even if you want to keep Games Workshop models, there are alternatives out there. You can go to eBay. You can go to reselling sites. You can go to your friends. You can go to secondhand sites. There are many of them online. You can go to people like Minimaker and get non-Games Workshop models for their games that are amazing. Absolutely amazing. I never thought I would see a Sister of Battle Force, right? That looked better than Games Workshop because I love how they look. But dude, Minimaker do that. They already do that. There are amazing Sisters of Battle models over there, among many other things. If you buy into this, you're the problem, dude. You're the idiot. Let me go down. I'm going to show you something else here, right? Can we just have a look at... What am I... Yeah, this. Let's have a look at this. What's wrong with this box set? Go ahead, have a look at it. What's wrong with it? If your answer is that the models are over 20 years old, that is one of the correct answers. I will accept that, right? These are old models, You know what the real problem is? It's over here. It's over here. So this box set, back in the day, was one that I felt bad selling at Games Workshop. Do you know why? Because I was at Games Workshop when we had Primaris Marines. We had brand new Primaris Marines that would come in. They were really awesome. And the Grey Knights looked silly by comparison. These Grey Knights are out of proportion. They look odd. Their poses aren't very good. They're just not very good models, right? Empirically, compared to Primaris Marines, these are not very good models. They could be, if Games Workshop decided to release good models for Grey Knights, but they don't, right? So, they may do in the future, in which case, even if these were Primaris Marines, £42.50 is ridiculous in terms of price. Do you know? So, I'm sorry, it is, okay? Don't get me wrong, the Grey Knights Strike Squad, the Purifier Squad, whatever you want, that box set is not well worth the price. It is a very, very, very good box set. If all other Space Marines are squatty like this, right? If all other Space Marines are like the old Space Marines, the Grey Knights box sets are very, very, very good for model people. For people who like to convert. You have options to build everything in this set. This may be called a Grey Knights Purifier Squad, but you can build Grey Knights Strike Teams, you can build Champions, you can build Interceptors, all from the same squad. All from the same box. This is what you're supposed to do, Games Workshop. This is what we want, alright? See these things here? On the right-hand side? That is an Interceptor backpack. You can make Interceptors through this box set if you want to. You don't need to make the Purifiers. You can make 3 types of squads, right? And 2 to 3 types of heroes from this one box set. That isn't quite value for money because the price is extortionate. But in terms of value to a hobbyist, it has value. What's going to happen when the Grey Knights become Primaris? All of these options are going to go away. Right? You'll get 5 to 8 models in this box set that are Primaris sized, and the price will go up. That's what's going to happen. You all know that, right? We all know that. That's what's going to happen. Do you know what the price of this box set used to be when I felt bad for selling it because we already had Primaris Space Marines and the Grey Knight ones looked a bit silly and were really old? £37.50. And I felt bad as a Games Workshop manager selling these models. £37.50. Can you tell me what has happened in the 5 or 6 years since I've left the company that has let Games Workshop justify adding £5 onto an already fucking extortionate price? Don't give me the economy. Don't do it. Don't even go there. Don't even go there. I know the apologists are going to be out there saying, oh, well, you know, no. It's become more expensive to make the models. No, it hasn't. Again, empirically, no, it hasn't. It literally hasn't. And even if I concede a minor bit of that point and say maybe it has a little bit, it certainly hasn't to give you the excuse, the balls, the gumption to add £5 onto the price of a bad set like this. It's not a bad set because of its options, it's a bad set because of the models that are actually in the box set. They're old, they're out of date, and they look silly in the modern game. How dare you add £5 onto what was already an extortionate price? Games Workshop don't have an excuse to up the prices of their models. They don't. They are pushing you to see how far they can push you, to see how far you go until you say no more. And the more of you who don't do that, the more of you who buy into this and let them get away with it, the more they will do. They will continue to push. And when this squad comes out as Primaris, which they will, this will be the first, I'm going to call it now, the first troop choice for Space Marines that is £50 on its own. I'm telling you, the Primaris version of the Grey Knight Strike Squad will be 5 to 8 models, not 10. You will have no options in the set, and it will be £50. And idiots like you will pay it and then come to channels like mine and whinge about it. Yeah, that's where we are, guys. You get what you deserve. People like me, I've told you for years, walk away. You can do the same models in the same way, have the same fun, right? But pay less. There are ways to do that, but you might have to be a bit patient. You might have to wait for that deal to come along in a certain marketplace, or you might have to go out there and put a bit of extra effort into sourcing it yourself to find the ideal deal for you and the models that you want. You can't just come on here and click and buy things like on Wayland Games and all these other people who get their models from Games Workshop. That, you know, some of the best prices I've seen for these box sets are like £90. But £90 is still an insult. It's double what this set was worth 10, 15 years ago. Double. Your wages haven't doubled, dude. You're not getting paid double what you were paid back then. So why the fuck do they see any justification for doubling their prices in a 10-year span? You tell me. You tell me where the justification is. And by the way, companies worth their salt, who are worth staying in business, they make their processes of manufacture cheaper over time. Why? Because they get better at it. They get better staff. They get better trained. Technology advances, and they adapt those advances into their own makeup and designing their own products. If anything, models should be getting cheaper, not more expensive. That is simply economics. It's a fact. It's a fact of business. If you have to pass double prices on to your customers, your business is a failure. That's it. That is it. And it is a house built on sand. That is where we are with Games Workshop. Okay? I'm predicting this now. Over the next 10 to 15 years, they will struggle. They are really going to struggle. They've seen uptakes in money. They've seen uptakes in these things. Why? Because they're approaching a center mass. They're approaching the event horizon of prices. All right? They've pushed you as far as you can go. But the minute you guys start to say, no, enough now. No. Enough. I'll get these from other places. Sorry. No, I'm not doing this. I'm not paying £100 for a set that should be worth around 50. I'm not doing it. The minute you start doing that, the minute it starts to bite them where it hurts, in the wallet. And that is when things will start to change. That is when you will see prices start to come down. That is when you will see them start to acquiesce to certain parts of the community to make things more accessible. That is when we'll start to get back multi-part kits. That's when all these things you want start to happen. But if you sit there and you get your wallet out like a good little cow and you give them money for things like this, things are never, ever going to change. I said this about Trench Crusade the other day. I don't want Games Workshop to fail. I don't. I think Games Workshop, by and large, are a positive in our community. Because they create great, big, cool things. Like Warhammer 40,000. Another game, an Age of Sigmar, and other games like it, right? The Amazon TV show, that sounds like it's going to be brilliant. I'm going to love it. But that's the issue here, right? They have become the custodians of the hobby, and I've said this on the channel many times. They need to be held to standards. Absolute standards. Because if they're not, what we get is prices like this, where they think they can take the absolute piss out of you, and you will literally come back and demand that they do it again, and again, and again. And then you'll have the balls to come to somebody like me and complain. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Don't put money into this machine and then moan to me about their prices being obnoxious. I'm stripping you of that right. You no longer have that right. I'm sorry, you don't. Okay? You no longer have that right on the channel. Right? If you look at a box set like this, right? 9 models. Not even that. Right? 8 models. No, it is 9 models, yeah. If you look at a box set like this, and then you have the balls to come to me and say, well, the prices are ridiculous. Well, did you buy this box set? Well, yeah, I needed the characters and for this tournament I'm going to. Then you don't get an opinion. You don't get an opinion. You don't get to buy into a problem, make it worse, and then complain about the problem. You don't get an opinion, dude. If you're buying box sets like this from Games Workshop or one of their affiliates at near full price because you need them, quote unquote, you don't get an opinion. Not with me. Not with me. You've been told. You've been told, you've been warned, you buy into it anyway. And you make things worse for people like me, for normal people who don't want to pay these prices. We're the ones holding the line. We're the ones saying, no, we're holding you accountable, motherfuckers. You don't get to charge me all of this money. £100 for 9 models. Is that fair to you? Is that fair to you? If you think it is, then you deserve everything you get. You and the hobby, you and Warhammer, you and Games Workshop deserve each other. You deserve each other. This is a ridiculous price point. And it's only getting worse. Unless you develop a pair of fucking balls and you get your models elsewhere. Again, you don't need to walk away from Games Workshop's models. You can get them elsewhere. Right? Get them second hand. Get them from eBay. Get them from reseller sites. There are tons of them out there. Tons of marketplaces. There's even marketplaces on bloody Facebook, man. Go and source them yourself. I had a mate called Lawrence in university. That's literally what he did. He had next to no money, but by God, he loved Warhammer. He was a normie, right? A really normal guy. He was on the basketball team. He saw me doing Warhammer. He came along to one event that I went to, and he got hooked. And his girlfriend fucking hated me for it, because he'd spent all of his time, from then on in, when he was on his own, doing Warhammer. He loved it. He had 4 or 5 armies by the end of his time at university. How did he afford that as a broke student? He went to eBay and reseller sites. He literally went and bought cheap. He then scrubbed the models clean and started again. Sometimes even pulled them apart to rebuild them in his own way. He loved it, man. He never set foot in a Games Workshop and bought anything from there ever. Just never did. For like £600, he got himself 3 or 4 armies. About 1,000, 2,000 points of Dark Angels, I think it was. And then there was Grey Knights, and there was... I think it was Blood Angels he went with. So he loved Marines. But he got himself 3 to 4 armies for like £600, £800 that he'd save. You know, he'd spend about £200 a term on models, and he'd save that money elsewhere. And it ate up all of his time. He went to tournaments. He had fully painted, gorgeous armies. Right? You didn't need to... And this company's charging you £100. So let's say Lawrence spent £500, right, when he was at university. This company wants £100 of that for 9 models. This dude had 3 armies, at least. I think he went with orcs at the end as well. Right? That's why I said 3 to 4. I played him with 3 armies. I played his Dark Angels, played his Grey Knights, played his Blood Angels. Right? 3 well-painted armies. He just put the effort in to find the deals that he wanted, to find the models that he wanted, and to reward people for giving him good deals. He'd go back to them with more business in the future. Dude, that's what you should be doing. Fuck these people. And if you continue to pump money into this machine, you deserve everything you get. You don't get an opinion. You don't get to moan at me or anybody around you that Games Workshop's prices are insulting if you pay into their big pot of money. You don't get to do it. Not with me. Sorry. Alright? What do you guys think? Am I being too harsh? Do you deserve an opinion even if you buy into this slop? Let me know in the comment section down below. The hobby is great, and we are on the precipice of something really, really, really cool. But we never will get there if we allow Games Workshop to set the narrative. If we allow Games Workshop to absolutely ream us for our wallets and everything that we're worth. We are not earning double what we were earning 10 years ago. So why are the box sets double the price? Just saying. See you tomorrow for some more Hobby Nightmares. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a good one. Bye now.